my God.
Well, that's how I am too, All right, so what's going on, everybody? My name is Dustin Carnish. I'm the owner of Rip Fitness. I'm sitting here with Bill Maniatis. Bill is from New Jersey, and we are located, our brick and mortar headquarters are out of Cleveland, Ohio. So Bill is joining us from over 500 miles away, or just about 500 miles, give or take.
Doesn't seem like it, but.
So Bill he's just wrapping up his 12th week in the program, and he basically has had some awesome results in our program, and we're going to talk to him about it and hopefully share some insight to all of you. So Bill, start us off with when you first reached out, what were you struggling with, and what were you really looking for out of a program?
Well, it was kind of, you and I were talking. We met actually at Dustin's wedding. We were away on vacation, and I knew he was a trainer, and I was kind of having a rough time. I got into a place where I just wasn't happy with how I felt. I wasn't happy with my abilities as far as athletically to be able to run, to be able to lift. And I kind of was just in a place where I was stuck. And then I had an injury with my right shoulder. I had to get a platelet-rich plasma injection in the shoulder, and I wasn't able to do anything at the time. While I had that injection, I basically had to sit still for 3 months, and then COVID hit. So it turned into a really good excuse to sleep late and drink lots of wine and eat food I wasn't supposed to eat.
There's a lot of people listening right now who can really feel you, and they understand what you went through there.
Yeah, it was a tough time, and the weird thing about it is you think, well, oh, I'm relaxing, I'm doing what I should do. I'm stuck in the quarantine, and I should just take advantage of not being able to do anything. And I ended up feeling worse and worse and worse. And I'm a type 1 diabetic. So the stuff I was eating was messing up my blood sugar, which was messing up my sleep. So it kind of was the snake eating its own tail. And I wasn't in a good place.
Okay. Yeah, so for those of you who you kind of caught a little bit of that. So Amy and I, when we went to Jamaica for our wedding, we met Bill at we were at a resort together, and they were playing Jenga. We crashed their party with Jenga, and then boom, they crashed our wedding. They were one of like 10 people on both sides of our family who ended up showing up, and keep in touch. So small world. All right, so yeah, type 1 diabetic. Struggling with sleep, struggling with weight, struggling with you're avid runner for a long time, right?
Yeah, I was a half marathoner. I kept that distance right there, but there was a time where I was running constant 20 miles a week, and that was 3.5 years ago, and I stopped. There's a whole lot of things that got me into stopping. I was running with a group, and then I wasn't running with the group. And I told myself I was going to take that winter off and just lift and kind of switch it up a little bit. And it turned into I didn't do much of anything.
Okay. So walk the audience through, what we did to combat the current situation that you were in.
Well, it was kind of a multifaceted approach. How we handled it. It was like, yeah, you're going to have to really focus on 3 things. You can work out all you want, but if you're not eating right, it's not going to make a difference. And I'm a firm example of that. I was training pretty hard about a year ago and just could not get down under 187.
And it's frustrating, right?
Yeah, and it really was, because it actually had me putting the weights down. So we focused on workouts, but we focused on diet and accountability. When you're sitting there on Wednesday and you're going, oh, I really don't want to work out today, but I got to talk to Justin tomorrow.
So
it's a good thing.
When I'm waiting on the call on Thursday and saying, hey, Bill, pull the head out of your ass. Let's get this thing going.
Well, that's about, I would say, about the what do they call it? Your bedside manner.
Uh-huh.
Look at your numbers this week. How did you read it?
So we focused on some workouts, right? Those are personalized to you. We did the custom nutrition plan for you, and continue to tweak that piece.
Yeah, a lot the workouts, especially though, you were talking about getting frustrated, and I told you I had the shoulder problem, and that would get really frustrating because it was, doing normal push-ups hurt the shoulder, and then I didn't want to do push-ups, and I couldn't do pull-ups anymore, and we tweaked that. You get so used to doing what you've always done that worked for you 10 or 15 years ago and just isn't working anymore. And it was just some simple things as far as like moving the grip from a wide grip on the chin bar to something in a little bit tighter, took the stress off the shoulder, and then that strengthened to the point where I could do moving back into the other things. It's lots of really good things in the workouts.
Yeah, and so that kind of feeds into the whole the whole thought process of, a 13-year-old football player needs to be coached a certain way, but then a 23-year-old professional football player needs to be coached a different way. So it's the same thing. If you're doing the same things that you were doing when you're 25 or 35 or 45, you might not be able to do the same things at 55, 65, or 75, or whatever the ages are.
Yeah, right? You try and do that, you end up frustrating yourself, and it's just counterproductive. And that's what was happening to me over and over and over again. Somebody who can used to be able to run 13 miles would go out and run 3 or 2.5 and feel horrible doing it. And then you just don't want to lace them up anymore.
Yeah, and that's obviously not good. We don't want that. Bill, what was, in your eyes, what was the best part of the program?
I think the best part of the program, the whole thing, I mean, you had asked me like initially, like, what was I concerned about? And like I was concerned with how is this going to work virtually? I'm a guy, I've always been an in-person guy. I went to the gym, I ran. I was concerned about that. I was really, really impressed at how we were able to do everything with a couple of apps on the phone, the ability to be in quick contact on the Ripped app. The focus of all three things together, being able to motivate you to not only eat right, but sleep and get your workouts in, was terrific for me.
Right. Awesome. So let's talk about that piece and how it related to your type 1 diabetes. I remember one of my uncles commented on one of the posts one time saying, "You can't do it. You're type 1 diabetic, or I can't type 1 diabetic. I can't do it." And you got him. So talk to, and I love that. Talk to the crowd about what happened with your insulin usage and your blood sugar levels and all that good stuff. That a lot of people think that, hey, I have type 1 diabetes or type 2 diabetes or heart disease or whatever it is. This is too tough. So talk about that real quick.
Yeah, honestly, I think it's the exact opposite of that. I mean, from my own experience, forget anything else. If you're eating right, number one, and you're watching not only what you eat, but when you eat it, it makes a very big difference on your metabolism as far as being able to metabolize the sugar. With our trying to lose the weight, we were limiting the carbohydrates at night. So I wasn't having the big spikes before I went to sleep. I had to lower my insulin rate at night because I didn't want to go low. I wanted to make sure that I stayed levels. What ended up happening is I had a guaranteed 8 to 10 hours every night where my blood sugar was going to be completely flatline normal. And not 115, 125 normal, like literally 90 right across the board. So I had tremendous results there. And following the diet and knowing when I was going to eat what made it a lot easier to figure out even how much insulin to take.
Mm-hmm.
And, every diabetic knows you'll go out to dinner and sometimes you'll order something and it's got a sauce on it and you don't see the sugar coming. Because I've been watching what I eat and everything else, my blood sugar has been terrific for months, better than it's been in a year, at least.
It's awesome. I love to hear that, man. It really is, because that's the stuff that people don't always realize. They don't always see that. That doesn't show on the scale. But
For
that's
me, I don't know if this is for everybody else. And even when I ran, this was true. I shouldn't say when I ran. I'm up to 6 miles again, so I feel great. I'm running again. But when I weight train, for whatever reason, that makes my blood sugar so much more stable, and it actually makes me more sensitive to the insulin that I take. I don't know if I'm burning the glycogen stores more from the weight workouts, but I see tremendous results with that. I recommend that to anyone.
Yeah, so for the diabetics out there, type 1 or type 2, when you weight train or do any kind of resistance training, it makes your tissues more insulin sensitive. And for those of you who are type 2 or pre-diabetic type 2, that is insulin resistant. So your pancreas is still secreting a whole bunch of insulin. It's just knocking on the door, but your muscles aren't answering the door. But when you do resistance training and you weight train, what you're it's basically doing is it's telling your system to open the door up and let that insulin in, which ends up clearing the blood sugar and helps it just makes you more insulin sensitive. So
yeah, for type 2s, I can't recommend anything more than weight training. It's the best thing in the world for you.
Okay, so one of the questions that we always get, Bill, is the food, the nutrition. A lot of people have been duped by other programs where they get one breakfast, one lunch, one dinner for the entire week or 2 weeks. Like, hey, eat the same thing over and over and over again. And by the day 3, you're like, oh my God, this sucks. So talk about the food real quick and what kind of nutrition plan you have got.
Yeah, honestly, that was one of the things about the whole program in general is nothing was left forgotten. Nothing was left out. When we started in the beginning, Dustin had me doing more just like, let's focus on what your calories are for now than macros. I asked him, I got a complete diet. Like, you can eat this, you can eat this, you can eat this. I have become a crock pot ninja in less than like 3 months. That enchilada that you was the best thing. Like, I can eat it for 4 days. But if you follow the meal plan that he gives you, you might eat twice in a month. There's completely different breakfast. Now, I tend to lock in what the stuff that was easy for me and that I liked. But I was literally going at least 3 or 4 days with no repeats. It was great. And I didn't have to think about it. I did my meal planning on Sunday, which was important for me because having that plan and knowing what I'm going to eat, what my workout's going to be, what I'm going to have to do, it was all laid out nice and simple. And it took the guesswork. It was terrific for me.
Awesome. So, no, I got you. You still there?
Yeah, I'm good.
Okay. So, all right, Bill. So, what would you tell someone who is thinking about, trying us out? They might have had their eyes on us for a while. A lot of people are, they're always kind of like spying from the outside, looking, kind of like peeking over the fence. What would you tell someone who's like, I need to make a change, I'm just not sure about, this program? What would you tell them?
The funny thing was, like, my fiance and I were talking about it because I was like, well, what I'm doing is not working. And we were talking about, like, I had just canceled the gym membership because I hadn't been there in, I don't know, 8 months. And it was very simple. When you and I spoke, it was like, look, let's try it for 6 weeks. Let's see how you do. And because of the pandemic, I was staying home. I wasn't going out to dinner. I wasn't going out to the gym. I wasn't doing anything. So I just moved my money that I was doing with that, and I did it over here. And it was one of the smartest things I ever did. If you're really on the fence about it, I told you, I was kind of like, I don't know how virtual training is going to work for me. I don't know how it was. We just gave it a shot for 6 weeks, and it was obvious really quickly what was going on with my body and how I felt. Just try it. If you don't like it, Dustin will tell you, okay, well, it's not working, but it'll work.
So just to wrap this thing up, Bill.
You don't want to talk to me anymore?
We'll stop going. We'll stand here all night, but I don't think people want to watch people will probably want me to shave. Bill, so real quick, where did you start weight wise? What were your goals weight wise? Where did you end up? And overall, like last piece takeaway. Boom.
Okay. When you and I started, I was already trying to get something done. The heaviest I was right around July. I was 198 pounds. Now I'm 5'9", so obviously way out of the realm of where I should have been.
We'll give you 5'10".
Oh, thanks. I appreciate that. That's on the NFL list. I'm 5'11", and
Right.
I can run a 3-second 40. But when we started, I was 194. And I told you the first couple of hurdles were going to be 187. And I kind of thought we were going to hit the wall there, and we blew right by it. Right before Christmas, I was 180 even. I have an Italian mother-in-law that I saw multiple times for Christmas and New Year's, so my weight went up a little bit. I'm right there. So I'm down from my heaviest, I'm down 18 pounds. From where we started, it's 14, and I can already see where it's going, that I'm going to be into the 170s by next week for the first time in 3.5 years, 4 years.
Awesome. Love it, man.
Good
What's
stuff.
What's that?
Good stuff.
Love it. I can tell you what, man, it's been a pleasure working with you. I love it. I'm looking forward to the next set of goals that we
we're having a good time.
A lot more performance-based stuff, a lot more fun things this time than necessarily just the weight loss piece. So this is where it gets really fun. You want to leave the viewers with anything?
Listen, if you're even thinking about it at all, if you're going back and forth or nervous about it, just give it a shot. It will work for you. It really will.
Love it, man.
Thanks, buddy.
Hey, everybody, have a great night. Leave your comments. Congratulate Bill. He did absolutely fantastic. Bill, thanks for jumping on.
Thanks.
I'll catch all you guys next time.
All right, bye.